Oscar Piastri wins to close the championship lead to his teammate Norris. In the end, it was relatively dominant, coming under pressure at no real point in the race, with Lando Norris, who was chasing him down at times, suffering from brake problems towards the end of the race and so dropped back, with Russell closing down on him but finishing P3. Verstappen then performed well to overtake Leclerc in the final few laps, with Leclerc suffering from wing damage that occurred on lap 1, turn 1 with his teammate Lewis Hamilton. As for Hamilton, he pitted a second time as he was struggling for pace, not being able to catch back up to the likes of Leclerc and Verstappen, but I think 6th was probably the best he was going to get from the day anyway. I don't know how this has happened, but Ocon in 7th is a simply incredible turnaround for the team after what has been a disaster weekend for them in Australia. He then, with great strategy, beat Antonelli in the Mercedes, who was 8th. You've then got Alex Albon on his birthday, happy birthday, finishing in 9th, which was a great result again for the Williams teams. And then in 10th was Oliver Behrman, who also did a fantastic job carving his way back through the field on the medium tyres in the second half of the race, claiming the final point. You've then got Gasly missing out on points again in P11, showing that the Alpine does have some pace, but they're just not quite as consistent as the other teams. Then Stroll didn't quite make the strategy work, as well as Behrman finishing in 12th. You've then got Sainz having a disappointing weekend in 13th, just not feeling comfortable in the car or showing the pace of his teammate. Then Hadjar in 14th and his teammate Tsunoda in 19th, who had an extremely weird front wing failure. But the RB strategy of 2 stops did not work. Again, like in Australia, their strategy blunder has cost them good points, as Tsunoda was running fantastically at times in the race. So it's a shame to see that all of his hard work is not paying off. Then behind Isaac Hadjar was Liam Lawson, who wasn't where Red Bull would have wanted him. After starting in the pit lane, he didn't display much pace to make progress through the field, with Jack Doohan behind him because of some time penalties with some dodgy defending against Isaac Hadjar. And those kinds of things are not what he wants when you're trying to maintain your seat with Colapinto waiting in the wings. Anyway, then you've got Bortoletto and Hulkenberg, with Bortoletto having a pretty terrible start, spinning off, and then just dropping time, having to pit early on. And then Hulkenberg, I don't really know what happened. I just think poor strategy calls. And then Tsunoda 19th, and then Alonso, who was last but retired due to a brake fire in the early opening laps of the race. But all in all, it wasn't the most entertaining thing I've ever watched. But it has put Piastri back in the title hunt already. 10 points behind his teammate Lando. Verstappen and Russell are all up there. So it looks like it's going to be a great battle between those 4. Ferrari seems slightly off it, but I reckon at some races they'll be able to close the gap.